Um, Now, let's see. Now, I've got a bunch of other screens coming up for some reason. No, looks like we're gone. Any rate, so today's what? Life changes, you know? What happens when things change fundamentally in your life? What happens when life uh, creates a lifetime connection? You know, how does that alter who you are and where you are and what you are and what you do? Well, it reduces, you know, nearly infinite possibilities down to some that are pretty obvious that, you know, are going to be a part of your life. And so to have your attention on it, to focus on it, to ask the questions and to get the answers, you know, okay, so if I'm going to be responsible for a family or a business or anything, how are we going to do it successfully? And what defines what success is? You know, in a business, it's, you know, creating abundance, you know, selling a product that other people need that, you know, that they're happy to do business with you for. You know, it's a flow of both sides getting what they want. However, you know, it's another level being responsible for life, not just for yourself, but for others. And so, what's a wise thing to do, you know, when that time of life comes? To prepare to be successful at it, of course. Prepare in such a way that your decisions are made in competence and effectively delivering the results that you want from your actions. So what's needed then is clarity in how to deal with yourself in such a way that you know what you want, you know what you need, you know what you have, you know who you are, and you know who you can be. And you let all of those different aspects communicate freely with each other with the intention that the possible you, the you that blossoms in life in a beautiful way, and everything around you, you know, in a beautiful way too. Even with the traumas that come and go, and the disruptions and the conflicts, you know, always back to the center of the universe, the center of life, the center of consciousness, the center of unconditional love. So that's your first job. Experience you as the center of it all, and then living there. until how you act and how you speak and how you move is in that flow. You know, that flow that always flows, you know, with grace and love and power. The infinite power of creation. Flowing through you in every conceivable way. No more holding yourself back with belief systems. Now you only deal with actuality. What do you have? How can you move? How can you communicate? And with that, what can you create for yourself that provides not just satisfaction, but abundance? You know, why not have an experience of abundance? If it's possible for you, if it's right for you, you know. But again, who are you? And what's right for you right now is what you got. Because of who you consider yourself to be, not because of the truth, only because of who you consider yourself to be. So what I have is what I deserve, based upon who I tell other people I am and how they can interact with me. Well, I'm not happy with that result, so what's the solution? Same as the one for you. I have to go to my center. The center of the universe, the center of love, the center of consciousness and compassion. And experience that in the center of my own body. And let it radiate out from there, you know, until it's exactly what I experienced myself to be. And what came before just transformed and transmuted and transcended what it was into what it could be. With enough consciousness, with enough self-awareness, with enough personal responsibility. Absolute. So number 2 is, who have you been? Who are you now? And how much of that is a lie, a fabrication, a pretense? Is any of it real?
Lily Delatier, WhatsApp audio.
The absolute responsibility. The connections that you have are the ones that you've chosen, the one that you've nurtured, the ones that you've paid attention to. The ones that are assisting you in revealing the infinite possibilities of life and supporting your success and expansion. You know, they deserve to keep getting your attention. The ones who are actually enemies are crazy, or deluded, or so knowing that they're right and that you're wrong that there's really not much of a fun game to play there. You know, if you're wrong, no matter what, in the eyes of another, it's not your sister or your brother. Somebody that's lost and confused and self-destructive and destructive to others. So let them play their game with the people who are playing that game, not you. Set them free, set yourself free. It's okay for them to be that and do that and have that and express as that, but not with you. Not if you're going to be true to yourself. There's a reason why birds of a feather flock together, you know. It's funner that way. Yeah, a community of beings that choose to know and experience themselves in an unconditional love of themselves and others. Who's open to being that? Well, I think there's a lot of them. So the next step is, so that gives you your support system, you know, as you go through your transformative unveiling from, okay, now I'm this, to now I'm this, to now I'm this. At each step, you have to let go of everything that you are in order to take the next step into being what you can be. So it's a process of just continuously letting go of what you are in each moment. And in each moment, you're just more and more and more real and more you, even though seemingly you're letting go of yourself, but it's just the thoughts and the ideas and the beliefs and the judgments and the pains and the traumas and the mindsets, all those belief systems. Those are what hold you back. You know, being present here and now is what sets you free. So in that radiance of being here and being now and being set free, allow that to move through not just your physical body, but also throughout all your subtle bodies. You know, feel it layer by layer, body by body. And outside of that, you've got the connections where other beings, other consciousnesses tap into you. So expand out to that level too, where others are connected to you and influence you mentally, emotionally, physically, impact your mind and impact your body with energies and vibrations and frequencies. And in each spot where anyone and everyone connects to you, allow that connection point to be radiant with the glow of unconditional love and infinite power. If somebody connects to you, the connection should be a transformative experience for themselves, so they can't present themselves to you as pretenses and lies and stories and belief systems. Somebody connects to you, they shouldn't be able to hold on to the lie that they tell themselves that they are. It should just fade away and transform into, oh, right, I got it, I remember, thank you. When somebody connects to a truly unconditionally loving consciousness, it should be a transformative experience for them. They should be experiencing an allowance and an understanding and a blessing to them for being exactly what they are. So that for the first time in their lives, maybe they felt absolutely understood and accepted as they are. However, in that realization that that's what they just experienced and confronted, they can't help but notice that that resonant frequency is something they're familiar with, something that's real to them, something that transcends the experience of who they've been experiencing themselves to be, and yet gave rise to it. So the third step would be an experience of unconditional love of self as self, such that you're not conflicted within yourself, within your mind, within your heart, within your body, that everything's in a harmony, everything's in love, everything's in power, everything's in healing, everything's in competence, everything's in self-awareness, everything's in an understanding of how everything affects everything else in the body. And so they just go into a harmonic synchronization of a blissful, powerful, beautiful physical expression. Why not? Then the temple of the goddess is clean. She can be here, be herself, be free, be an expression of irresistible transformation. From what we're kind of tired of and don't want anymore, but we don't know anything else, into, well, I guess you could call this awakening, self-realization, enlightenment, Buddha consciousness, Christ consciousness, whatever. Let's just call it home. That which is real. That which, when realized, made real in the body, transforms the body into clear and accurate reflection of the infinite self, which is you. And why not? Why not let the story come to a happy ending, a happily ever after? Isn't that what all the prophets and demigods and philosophers and dreamers said was going to happen? That there'd come a time when we could all take a breath and say, thank God we're finally on the free spot. The whole earth is a free spot now for each of us. We're each free, we're each conscious, no suppression, no misunderstanding. Free creators, creating and observing creation and appreciating everything else while freely expressing, freely creating, freely loving yourself. You know, that ultimate utopia, you know. When does it start? Well, has it ever not been here and now? Has it ever not been real? Has it ever not been knocking on every door and window that we put around our consciousness so that we could believe that we're something that we're not? When are we done with that? When are we done with believing that we're something that we're not? What does it take to win that game so we can finally quit? Or can we quit as a loser? We only get out of this whole thing by being absolutely responsible and absolutely right, but nothing has to be redeemed. Nothing has to be forgiven. Every action by every being that ever was or ever will be was consistent with the level of beingness and consciousness that it embodied and said, okay, I'm this. And every other being had enough consciousness to, have some degree of perception about what's safe and what's loving and what's hateful and what's dangerous, right? So then they chose what they chose anyway. So everybody gets what they want, even when they don't want it. So if you're getting something that you don't want, when you don't want it, okay, so how do we stop doing that to ourselves? How do we, in a loving way, in a compassionate way, in a powerful and able way, make ourselves and what we want and what we desire the primary purpose of our life? Because unless we're experiencing ourselves with gratitude, with love, with authentic presence, and wisdom, how fucking much of a service can we be to others? Quit trying to serve in disability and live in your truth and then serve. I guess that's the painting of the day. Live in your truth and then serve. live in your truth and then work. Live in your truth and then play. Live in your truth and then live your life. As someone who's no longer confused, no longer manipulated, no longer cannot tell the truth sometimes between lies. You know, what's real? Is the lie the truth? I don't know. You know, use that intuition. Feel that. Okay, what's this person about? How many good things can they allow to happen for me? How about that question? How many good things can you allow to happen for yourself if you're not connected to anybody who won't allow that for you? What if you had half a dozen friends that were universally conscious and eternally present? How much easier would it be to live as the truth of yourself? You really couldn't help it. So more truth, less lies. And not the truths that make somebody else wrong, the truths that set you and them free. The senior truths, the eternal truth, the universal truth. Yeah. So now you're open to them, now you're connected to them, and now you're letting them flow through your body into this world. Cool. Makes it nicer for me. It's like it being hot inside and somebody walks over and their presence is an air conditioner. It cools the whole place off to just perfect. So there's a lot of things to let go of for that to be real as an experience, but why not let them go? All of these things we're feeling right now, right in our guts. All those decisions to protect yourself, no matter what, against anyone and everything and everyone. You don't protect yourself through defense. You protect yourself through noticing the radiance that's within you and watching it grow and flow and blossom. Notice how that just sort of unwinds and dissolves all the lots, all of the locks and the dams and the blockages in your body. You don't have to figure it out anymore. Your only job is to stay in the opening of surrender. And then in each new moment, as it goes, hey, I'm still here. Now is still now. We don't have to deviate from our realization and our consciousness and our love in order to deal with other people. We don't have to compress ourselves down into an image that the other person has of us and communicate from that. We still communicate to them where they can receive and how they can receive, but we don't go unconscious in order to do that. Even though it's tempting to just go right in and play the game with them. You're not a game player anymore. You're the beginning and the end, and everything in between. Letting it all flow throughout the universal and eternal nature and expression and actuality of you. Actually loving all creation and letting it be. In a lovingly connected way, present with it all. It might seem to contradict what I said before, but you know, at each level of consciousness, you got new abilities. You know, so open up and receive and then act from there. Keep transcending in each new moment the limitations that you thought were yours. Yeah. Peace. Why not peace for you? Inner peace, inner bliss, inner joy, inner appreciation, inner gratitude. Why not enough understanding of creation for you to be truly, blissfully, gratefully present, regardless of the story and the history of the body? There. Feels a lot better to me. So where in our mind do we recreate ourselves from the past to be who we wake up as in the morning? Let's wake up there, where that choice, that decision, that mindset, that belief system came into being. Okay, so that's who I am. I'm someone who wakes up once in a while and goes to sleep and is fucked again. Okay, so there was a purpose for that, a good purpose, a noble purpose, a valuable purpose. And it served its purpose perfectly. But now that I'm one with it, it has served its purpose. It did a beautiful job of it. The job's complete. The job's over. The job's finished. There's a graduation now into something more. And something more is in everything amazing that you wish to reach out for, that you're willingly open into experiencing within and as yourself. Experience the divine as yourself. It's the only way to be saved. You know, not for nothing did Jesus say, hey, greater works than I have done will ye do. Well, how could that ever be true if you're a true Christian and you believe that he was the one and only Son of God, even though he said, doesn't your scripture say that ye are all gods? Well, you know, there's belief systems, you know, there's stories, and where did those belief systems get you or anybody? They got them right to the point where they're stuck and they don't know. And they don't feel, they don't understand, and they're confused, and they're fearful, and they defend themselves against the evil motherfucking other. So that's what our belief systems got us. Polarized oppositional consciousness. Each one for himself, each one for his group, each one for his family and tribe, and, you know, under the right circumstances. So as much as possible that you believe to be true, they believe also. You know. And then there's the others, the evil ones. The ones that don't feel the way we feel and see the way we see and understand the way we understand and believe and act the way we do. So there's safety in that for sure, in tribalism. Oh, okay, you're one of us. Good. Okay, here, what do you need? How can we help you stabilize and enter into our community here? You know, that's why we do it, I think. Because now we have a framework to limit the infinite possibilities that include a million ways to die. You know, it maximizes chance for survival. But what's really possible for you? You know, do you need does a salary do it? You know, in terms of providing security? Not if it's not enough, it doesn't. You know, a business, yeah, it can. But it's hard to do a business without marrying your consciousness to it. Yuck. I think as Maharishi Mahesh Yogi or Sri Yukatar or one of those guys, when somebody came to them and said, what do I do? I have a family to support and meditate and they said, okay, find out something that you can do that's valued by others, where you can make enough in your work hours to provide abundantly for your family, but where you can leave it when you leave the office, when you leave the business, and you can go home and be present for your family and then be present for yourself. Because in a state of being responsible for a family, man, it's easy to get into overwhelm and take on too much responsibility and too many different things at once. Well, you should be free as much as possible to enjoy that family, to enjoy seeing life grow and develop and learn and understand. I messed up mine. And so I have to live from, the results of my past creations in terms of family relationships. An awakening in exactly what I did and how I did it is painful. Because I see everything that could have been, how beautiful it could have been. Well, it's sad I didn't do it that way. But I didn't. But taking that responsibility and saying, I'm still alive, I'm still conscious, I'm still free. What can I do to make it better for the people that love me and that I love? How can I be present with them in such a way that they feel like they're seen and understood and acknowledged and loved? And in that's where you find your healing for your past sins. Even though they don't count, but you do have to take responsibility. You do have to re-experience them. And then, but you don't have to suffer in that. All you have to do is go, wow, wow. And embrace the fact that, you're in control, you're responsible. And you're making new choices. And you're in your opening already. You've already transformed. You've already transcended. You're already free. And you're already love. And the noticing of that is all we've ever had to do. Now we begin to know our peace. And we rest in that until we're recharged and reborn as the peaceful truths of the infinite possibilities of all creation. I think when we do that, experience that clearly and totally, that's when the world changes for us. And heaven on earth is life as we know it. Well, if anybody watches this, we're doing this in preparation for an ayahuasca ceremony tonight that Yvonne and Red and I are going to, and some friends are coming in from out of town for. And I haven't done a real deep dive with ayahuasca since my first visit, and which was mind-bendingly beyond belief. I've got some opinion that a one-on-one ceremony with the shaman is the best. But, you know, I had a really transcendent magic mushroom ceremony about 4 months ago that was in a big group, so long as everybody's, choosing to open, shouldn't be a limiting situation for you. At any rate, let's see, we're 50 minutes and I think I said about enough. I don't want to keep on talking and say something that's not worth listening, so I'm going to shut up.